Reb Shimon ben Pasi on 60b1, right? 60b1. Reb Shimon ben Pasi Rami. Reb Shimon ben Pasi, he posits a contradiction. Ksiv, one verse says, that God made the two great luminaries. Uksiv, and it's also written, Vasamara Gadol, Vasamara Katan, the big luminary and the small luminary. It was a famous Gemara. So he explains what happened here. Amar Yirech Lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The moon says in front of God, Rabbeinu Shalom, Master of the world, could two kings be using one crown? It means two rulers. Amr, so God says to her, which is the moon, go and diminish yourself. Amr lefanov, so the moon responds, Rabbeinu Shalom, Master of the world, because I said something that's correct. So I should. I should become smaller. The commentators ask on this. They say, so what does he want? He wants the other one to become smaller. Like someone's got to become smaller. So the Maram Shif says that maybe the sun could have become bigger, or maybe they could have taken turns. So a month for the sun, a month for the moon, something like that. But just to say, go diminish yourself, that he was a little surprised. Amala, he says, no, you're still going to have something extra. You'll be able to rule by day and by night, which means that sometimes by day you still see the moon. The sun is never by night, but sometimes by day, because the cycle is a little it's not a perfect cycle. So sometimes at different times of the month we're able to see the moon by day. Amrlei, my Rabusa, says, what do I gain from that? The Shraga Batira Mayahani, you have a candle in the sunlight. Who gains from the candle? Amala Zil Limnabach Yisrael Yamim V'Shanim. The Jewish people will count the days and the years by you. Amrlei Yemanami Ef Shadlei Manubei Tukufasa. Says Yoma here means the sun. Said the sun also they're going to be counting their things. It says that they're going to be for the signs, for the holidays, for the days and for the years. That means for the seasons. So it says Zil Likru Tzadiki B'Shmecha. So the tzaddikim are going to call by your name. The tzaddikim are going to use your name. Yaakov HaKatan. There's a verse that says that Jacob, the small one. Now, and the moon is small, so you see that's the tzaddikim are using this. Shmuel HaKatan. Now, this is actually not a verse. We don't have verse Shmuel HaKatan, but however, we do have a person in the Gemara, Shmuel HaKatan, that he was the one that instituted the Birchas Aminim in front of Rabbi Gamliel. That's how the Rashash claims that's what it means here. David HaKatan, David the small one. Chazid leikames v'daiti. God saw that the moon was not satisfied.
Shmuel was a Tana?
It was a Tana. God saw that the moon wasn't satisfied. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu hevi kapara alai shemiyatas yasa yareach. Bring an atonement for me that I diminish the moon. V'hainu damar Reb Shimon ben Lakish. This is what Reb Shimon ben Lakish says. Manishtana soyer shel Rosh Chodesh. Why is there a difference between the goat that's brought? You see, every holiday we bring, in the part of the Musaf, we bring a goat. Why is the one for Rosh Chodesh, which is also considered a holiday regarding Musaf, why is the goat there different? Shneimar by Lashem. Usually it says, V'si'ir chatas echad, in one goat for a sin offering. But here it says, Sir chatas echad Lashem. Why does it say for Hashem? So, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God says, there's an atonement for me that I diminish the moon. Now, the pshat that I like is that is from the Toldos Yaakov Yosef. He says that the moon didn't realize that it didn't have its own light. It was a recipient of the sun, but it never realized that it had its own light. So because it was the same size, and it thought that it had its own, it thought that the light was its own. And then when it diminished it, then he realized that the sun was actually, it didn't have its own light. He was only a recipient of the sun. So he got embarrassed. The moon was ashamed of what he was thinking the whole time, that he was actually on that level.
Wow.
So that's the atonement that God brings for embarrassing the moon.
So this conversation had to be the first day before there was night.
Right.
Right? Or the moon would have figured it out.
Huh.
So it had to be in the first.
Right. Yeah. When did this conversation take place? Well, the sun and the moon were created on the fourth day. So the first day there was another light that was being used that got hidden away later. I don't know, I would like to say that this was like all before creation, you know, this is all in the planning process, but I don't know if that's now this is a Chassidish pshat, where the moon thought, this is from the Toldos Yaakov Yosef, you know, the student of the Baal Shem Tov. You follow what the Chassidus is saying, that there's a tzaddik and people don't realize that they're getting all their influence from the tzaddik, and that's the Menachem has a pshat here that God made the sun and the moon so that no one should worship the sun, because there's another one. It can't be the God, because there's another. They're the same size. There's another one that can't be that. That's the real ruler. But then, when God diminished the moon, then the sun was then being worshipped. So it's because God caused the nations indirectly. God caused the sun to be worshipped. That's the Menachem. They don't have
so then Hashem caused the world to be monotheistic idol worshippers.
Right.
Right? That's what that's saying.
Yeah.
Because they're saying just the sun is a god, not the moon is a god.
Right.
Otherwise they could have been, I don't even know the word, worshipping two gods.
Right. And we had there was in Egypt, there was the monotheistic.
The Zoroastrians.
Well, the Zoroastrians had like a good and bad. They had
they had a good and bad. Who was the one that worshipped night and worshipped light and worshipped darkness?
That's the Zoroastrian.
Yeah.
But there were two separate. But in Egypt there was Akhenaten was he worshipped the Eitan, which was the sun disk, and that was supposed to be monotheistic.
Oh.
Okay.
Where's Shimon ben Pazi on this cut chart?
I don't know.
You know?
Let me see. I don't know if we're gonna find him here.
You look to the charts.
Right. Oh, he is. Shimon ben Pazi is over
Oh,
here.
he squeezed right in there.
And we have room for one more.
Okay, it hasn't been mentioned before.
He's under Rabbi Yoshia ben Pazi. Very interesting. Okay. Ravasi Rami. Ravasi also posits a contradiction. He puts two psukim in front of you and says, like, go figure it out. Ksiv, one pasuk says, Batei Teretz Desha, that the earth gave forth herbage, the grasses. Bitlas b'Shabbata, that's on the Tuesday. Uksiv, and it's also written, B'chol siach hasada termiyeh ba'aretz, b'malish b'Shabbata. It says that all the growth in the field before it was on the earth, and that was on Friday. So it sounds like that it came out on Tuesday, but it's not out yet on Friday. So something's wrong there. Malami, this teaches us sheyotzu d'sham va'amdu al pesach karka, that the grass sprouted, but it stood at the entrance to the earth, to the ground, Achbadam Rishon Abik Shlem Rachamim. Till Adam Rishon came and he davened. He asked for compassion. V'yardu Geshamim. The rain fell, Vitzamchu, and it grew out. Lalamdecha. This teaches us HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mesavel Tfilasan Shel Tzadikim, that God desires the prayers of the righteous. Now it says, Rabbi Chanina Bar Papa, Rabbi Nachman Bar Papa, one of them, Havalei Hahu Ginsa. He had a garden. Shadi Bei Bizrani. He threw into it the seeds, but it didn't grow. Yeah. It might have been an earlier Rav Papa as well that has all of these songs, but
let's try it.
It's not on the shirt, so it would be an over here. So, Boy Rachmi, he davened, Asamitra V'tzamach, the rain came and it sprouted out. Omar, he says, Hainu de Rabasi. That's exactly what Rabasi said. And this is a little surprising, and I don't have a good shot here. But the obvious question is, why does he hold, why did he consider himself a tzaddik? That's a little arrogant.
He's waiting.
No, the question that I understand.
Yeah.
The question is, how does Rav Chanina Bar Papa just say, "Oh, this Hashem was waiting for my tefillas"? I would understand if someone else would say that, but to say about himself, I don't know. Maybe that's he was honest.
It wasn't his field.
No. Havalehu Ginsa.
It was to him.
Yeah. Okay. Rav Chanan Bar Rava. Rav Chanan Bar Rava says, Hashasua.
Very b'fnei
Very b'fnei atzma. It says in the Torah, when it talks about the split hoofs, it says Hashasua. Hashasua means that it's split all the way through. However, the Gemara learns that Hashasua is actually a name of an animal. Sheyesh la shnei gabim, that it has two backs. Shnei shadrois, it has two spines. Okay. And Shasua, Rashi says, means that it's te'uma. Somehow that means that it's a twin. It's a twin in itself. So the Gemara asks, "V'chi Moshe Rabbeinu kenigi haya balistri haya?" Was Moshe Rabbeinu a hunter or a trapper? Balistri, kenigi is a trapper. Balistri is someone that uses an arrow. Mikan tshuva lo'imer ter min hashamayim. This is a response to those that say that the Torah is not from heaven, because how could Moshe Rabbeinu have known this? It's only because he has this information from heaven. Amle Rav Chizda Rav Tachlifa Bar Ravina. Rav Chizda says to Rav Tachlifa Bar Ravina, Zilk Seif Knigi Balistri Ba'agadasech Ufarsha. Go write down these words Knigi and Balistri in your Agada, in your notebook for Agadas, Uparsha, and explain it. In other words, these are really good words for your vocabulary dictionaries, for your Agada vocabulary, and write them down. Now, the Divrei Shol, the Rabbi Yosef Shol Natanson, the Shalom Meshav, so he learns that there's a problem of writing down Torah Shebal Peh. The only time you're allowed to write it down is for halachic purposes. So, but what about Agada? You really shouldn't be allowed to write any Agada because it's not halachic. So here he says, if you have a dictionary to translate the Torah, so then that would be an excuse to write things down. So he says, write this down, and then we'll be able to fit in the Agada to follow it, because you're writing it down as, in other words, you'll be excused for writing this in, because you're using it as a dictionary,
And that's this person we're talking about who wrote
Rav
that?
Chizda is telling Rav Tachlifa Bar Ravina that this you can write down because it's a translation of a word, and then once you write this down, we'll be able to fit in the Agadata. We have another pasuk here, and it's probably quoted because Rav Chizda says the same comment to Rav Tachlifa Bar Ravina. It says, "Chamesh sarni Plishtim. This is when Yeshua, before he passes away, God says that there's still a bunch of lands that haven't been conquered. Amongst them is the 5 Sarnei, the leaders, the ministers of the Plishtim, which are Ha'azati, V'Ashtudi, V'Ashkeloni, V'Hagati, V'Akroni, V'Avim. Now, when you count that out, there's 6. Azati, Ashtudi, Ashkeloni, Agati, V'Akroni, V'Avim. There's actually 6. Amar Chamisha V'Chashav Shita. It says that there's 5 leaders of the Plishtim, and it counts 6. Amar Rabbi Yonasan, Arunki Shalehem Chamisha. Now, Arunki means the important ones. There's other girsas. Adantaki, which means Adoinim, or Adoinaki. See on the side, you have these other girsas. Whatever it is, it means that there's 5 of them are leaders, the other one isn't. Amli Rav Chizdel Rav Tachlifa Baravina, Ksiv Arunki Ba'agadasech Uparsha. You should go write down this word Arunki in your Agada and explain it. Okay. Upliga de Rav. However, this argues on Rav, this pshat, because Rav has a different pshat here. Dama Rav, Avim mi Teman bo. Rav says that Avim came from Teman. Rashi says Teman, which we translate as Yemen, actually is the son of Eliphaz, who's the son of Esav. Now, who was not one of the Pelishtim. So, he was not one of the Pelishtim. He came from someone else. Okay. Tosfos explains that if you look at the psukim there, so the next pasuk starts to describe the next area that wasn't conquered, and it starts with the word Teman, which means from the south. That area, and it goes on to explain what Rav is doing. Is Rav is taking the end of the first pasuk and he's reading it straight through, like ignoring the period at the end of the sentence, and reading it Avim mi Teman. That the Avim are from Teman. He was reading through the sentence. Tanya Nami Hachi. It was also taught in a Braisa. Avim mi Teman bo. The Avim came from Teman. Avim. Why are they called Avim? When they left their land, they laid it waste. They just left a nice area and they just let it go to waste. Davarach, another pshat. Avim she'ivala lakus harbe. They desired many gods. I guess so that's why they went to the Plishtim to worship the more gods that were there. I guess that's what it means. Davarach, another pshat. Shekol Davarach Avim. What does Avim mean? Shekol aroya isam echzasei avis. Anyone who sees them is gripped by avis. Now avis is, Rashi says, is a trembling, and on the side they quote the Rashbam that says that it's the name of a disease. Maybe it's the same thing. It's a disease, maybe, of trembling. But they, anyone that sees them starts trembling. This would be like, the Vikings or something, or the Huns,
IRS.
Okay.
That works.
It's funny because the word avis almost has the IRS in it. So Amar Rabbi Yosef says, the Islu Shitzrei Dari Shini L'chol Chad V'chad, and they have, each one of them has 16 rows of teeth.
Of this animal, Shasua. What are we talking about? Yeah?
I really? I think it's the Avim.
The Avim? Yes.
Do you think it's going back on Shasua? No.
I don't know.
No, it sounds like it's describing the scary Avim, why everyone's trembling. I'm Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Reb Shimon ben Lakish says,
It says the Avim.
The Avim.
From the Avim Shesh.
Yeah. How many? There's other animals that change their teeth more often. Is it the crocodiles or the sharks, or that they have more teeth than the humans? We only have 2 sets. The other animals that have
Sharks have.
Sharks, they change their teeth.
They always fall and they come forward.
But they have an endless supply.
Yeah.
Elephants, I've read, have 7 sets of teeth.
7 sets.
And they typically die because the last one falls out.
And then they can't eat.
They can't eat.
Because they would have lived longer. If we could get elephant dentists, could,
Specialize in
bigger
that
and
type.
better elephants.
Implants.
Implants.
Mortal elephants.
No longer eat. They can't chew up the food.
Yeah, and they get their water. Sometimes they bite into the trees, the baobab trees. They get the water out. They just take a chunk out of it, right? They need their teeth. Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Reb Shimon ben Lakish says, "Harbin mikray suriyim lisreif." There's many verses that are worthy of being burnt. Reheinin gufi Torah, but surprisingly, they're very important in the Torah. In other words, this is saying that at first glance these verses are really meaningless, but when we look at it, these are really essential. He gives examples. What do we care that the Avim, they sat in Chatzerim until Aza? So the Gemara explains. Since Avimelech made Avram swear in Tishkali Leninu Lenechti that you should not be deceitful to me, to my children, to my grandchildren. And Nin is really a grandchild. Lenechti must be in the 4th generation, I guess. Is that how they explain it? Nin is a grandchild? No, Nin means my son.
It's a great-grandchild.
With a grandson. What's that note there? 34. That's it. Okay. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So God said, Leisu kaftayrim. Let the kaftayrim come. V'lifku me'avim. And they'll take it away from the avim, the hainu plishtim. The avim were the plishtim. V'leisu Yisrael. And then the Jewish people will come, v'lifku me'kaftayrim, and they'll be able to take it away from the kaftayrim. You see, Avram was not allowed to start up with Avimelech. And according to this interpretation, the avim are plishtim. This is not according to Rav. Rav said the avim were from Taman. They came from Eliphaz. But according to the first interpretation, we said the avim were plishtim, but they just weren't the leaders of the plishtim. So the Jewish people weren't allowed to conquer this land. So what it said is that the Kaftorim came, they took it away from the plishtim, from the avim, and that's why the Jewish people were allowed to conquer this land, and it wasn't considered like they were attacking Avimelech's grandchildren. Kiyotze b'davar. Rashi speaks out. What about if it's according to the other pshat? Why do I need this pasuk? If the avim have come from Taman, so Rashi says that they weren't allowed to start up with the children of Esav either. So we would have the same answer. Kiyotze b'davar ata omer. Similarly, we also say Ki Cheshbon Yersichan Melech HaMarihi, because Cheshbon was the city of Sichan, the king of Amari. Who nilcham b'melech Mayav, and he fought with the king of Mayav. My nafkamina. What do we get from knowing this? Damlu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, because Hashem tells the Jewish people, Al tatzeres Mayav. Don't oppress Mayav. Don't start up with Mayav. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Hashem says, Leisei Sichan. Let Sichan come. Leit komi Mayav. Take the land, conquer the land from Mayav. V'leisei Yisrael. Leit komi Sichan. Then the Jewish people will come and they'll take it away from Sichan. So they'll allow by Sichan conquering, that's allowing for the Jewish people to come and attack. Behind the Dam Rav Papa, this is what Rav Papa says, Aman and Mayav tiru Sichan. Aman and Mayav were cleansed by Sichan, because that allowed for the Jewish people to attack. Okay. Tzidainim yikru lecherman shiryain. But then the pasuk goes on, it says, V'amayr yiklu sinir. The Tzidainim called Chermain Siryain, and the Amari called this area of Chermain Sinir. Tana, the Bais says, Sinir v'Syrian mehari Eretz Yisrael. Sinir and Syrian were mountains in Israel. Each one of the nations of the world built their own like capital cities, big cities. V'hellei al shem hari v'hellei al shem hari Eretz Yisrael, and they gave it the names of the mountains of Israel. Lamdecha, this teaches us shafilu hari Eretz Yisrael chavivan al umay sa'ilam. They're even the mountains, which assuming the mountains are hard to grow things, they were so precious to the nations of the world that they called their own cities after the mountains in Israel. Similar to this, it says in the nation they passed it la'arim to the cities. My nafkamina. This is referring to Yosef, that he moves the people of Egypt all around from one place to another. What do we need to know this for? Galvasa, so that Yosef's brothers should not be called immigrants, right? Immigrants.
Greenhorns.
So that's why he made everyone strangers by moving all the other Egyptians around at that time. Forced busing. Okay. This is another Gemara, a new Gemara here.
That's what Sancherib did too.
Right.
So he could have learned it from Yosef.
What was the reason why Sancherib did it? Also, he did it so they shouldn't be comfortable.
So they shouldn't have a connection to the place.
The way to the way to conquer the land is remove the people. So when you go to another place, you become humble, unknown, so they wouldn't rebel against.
That was it the Indians.
The British are rubbing it in.
No,
No, but it's an opposite thing. Sancherib did it to make the people uncomfortable, and Yosef did it to make his brothers comfortable. But who was the point? Okay, Simoni Haiflei Nemru. The Mishnah said that we don't have the signs for the kosher birds. We just have a list of kosher birds. The sages said, Kol Eifadeiris is tamei. Any bird that attacks is tamei. Any bird that has an extra finger, which we said that was the finger that came out in the back, or a bird that has a zefek, which is a crop, and a bird also that karkabani niklap, that the inside gets peeled.
Did we have that before?
Yeah, that was in the Mishnah. Now we're going back. The Gemara is explaining. See when it has two dots like that. That means it's quoting the Mishnah, and the Gemara says, "V'loi, we don't have the signs in the Torah, but Tanya, it's taught in a brisa. Nesher. How do we translate Nesher in the art scroll? An eagle or a vulture? It says an eagle. Ma Neshem Yuchad Shein La Yetz B'Yisera, just like the eagle. It's unique. It doesn't have the extra finger.
Griffin. I think it's a griffin, no?
What do you have?
A griffin.
Is that the name of the Nesher, of the bird?
Yeah, it's a living Torah.
Oh.
But Al-Kanfei Nesharim is always translated as an eagle.
Rashi says, Min Nesher.
Just had it
on the wings of
Chumash.
eagles, right? Maybe it's a name of a name of an eagle.
But probably a subspecies.
Okay. Now the eagle doesn't have the extra finger. It also doesn't have the zefik. It also doesn't have the crop. Then kabani niklaf. It also doesn't have the kurbana, the kurkaban, the inside of the stomach doesn't peel. What's wrong? Doesn't have it?
Just changed it.
Oh.
That's last week. Next week, last week.
And the stomach doesn't peel off. V'dairis v'eichel. And it also is dairis. It also attacks and it eats. We have different pshatim. What's the pshat? Either it takes the food in its hand and its claw and lifts it up, or it catches it in the air and it eats, or it starts eating it while it's still alive, or whatever the pshat is. So this nesher has all of the problems. It has all four signs of impurity. It's tamei. Zaf kol ki yetzer by tamei. Also, anything else that has the four signs is also tamei. We're going to see that it's going to work the opposite. Let's be patient here. Tyrin, the dove or the turtle dove. Sheyesh layetz b'yasera. It has the extra finger. V'zefek, it has the crop. V'korka b'niklaf, and the inside of its stomach is peeled. Ve'in darsen v'aychlen, and it also doesn't attack and eat. Tahirin, afkal kiyetze behen. Tahirin. Also anything that's similar to is tar. Okay, so here we have the signs. By contrast, we're contrasting the eagle to the turtle dove, and we're able to see the contrast, that this is the signs of the non-kosher animal, the 4 signs, and this is the sign of the kosher animal. Now, Rashi speaks out here that what the Gemara is going to discuss here is that actually you only need one of the signs to be kosher. You don't need to have all 4 kosher signs. As long as you don't have all 4 non-kosher signs, you're already kosher. The Gemara is going to go through this to explain how. But meanwhile, we said that we don't have the signs in the Torah. Here we have the signs. Rabbi leinemer prushim midivrei Torah midivrei seifrim. The explanation, how it's enumerated, how it's explained, it's not in the Torah. The Torah we can just do the comparison, but it's the divrei seifrim, the sages that explained what the differences are. Tani Reb Chia taught in a Braisa. Says, if a bird comes with 1 sign, it's already pure. Because it's not similar to the eagle. The eagle has 4 signs, and the 4 signs it eats in the air, or it doesn't have doesn't have the extra finger, or the inside doesn't get taken out, or right. It doesn't have the crop. So, Nesher, the Leslu Klal, Hudalei Seichel. How do we know this? Because the Nesher doesn't have any of the signs. That's the one that you can't eat. Ha'ika, but Ha'ika Dislei Chad, but if it has one of the signs, Teichel, that you can eat it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
1 sign is good enough. The Gemara says, 1 second. V'leilef mitayrin. Why don't we learn from the kosher bird? And it's going to be exactly the opposite. The turtle dove. Ma tayrin dekakulu arba. The turtle dove has all 4. Afachinami adekakulu arba. Maybe you need all 4 signs. So the Gemara says, Im kain sharai fistman dekasar rachman alamale. If you need all 4 signs, then why do we have to write all 24 birds that aren't kosher?
Is that really a question? The Torah wants